Vino, hello. How you going? Can I just get a thumbs up that you can hear me? Everything is working correctly? Or a yes, just to make sure that everything's working? Oh, good. Good work for being here, Vino. So it's just you and me so far. Perhaps more people will join as the tutorial goes on. But good work for you being here, at least anyway. So as you would have guessed by now, and also Linda would have been telling you over the last week or two, is that Linda is away on holidays. So she's taking a rec leave at the moment on holidays. So we'll be back after the semester break. So Linda will be back in week 10. So I am with you today for the tutorial, and I'm also taking the workshop today as well. So a little bit later on this morning. So good work for being here. It's good to see you again. Usually I only get to see you in one unit during the week, but I get to see you for two this week. So great work for being here. And also with our other unit, it's a public holiday tomorrow, so we don't actually have tutorials tomorrow for the other unit. So now I'm changing my lecturer hat, uni lecturer hat, and getting into social media, managing social media. So I'm one of the people who is covering for Linda, and I've had experience in social media marketing and everything before. So I also have had a good look of what you need to be doing and the activities for today. So we'll get through them. We'll probably get through them a bit quicker, seeing as it's just you and me. Classes always go a bit more quickly when there's hardly anyone in them. So but good work for you being here, as I said before. So first off, though, I'm not sure if Linda does this, but you can turn your microphone on. You can turn your microphone on. We may as well keep up the tradition, seeing as I'm here. Give yourselves yourself a round of applause for being here. Well done. I can hear your applause through my speakers. So good work, Vino. All right. So what we're going to be doing today is you're continuing on now onto your assessment too. So your previous assessment has been, you submitted that. It was graded, moderated, and it's been released back to you as well. So I was actually part of the moderation for your last assessment for this unit. I actually sat with Linda for about an hour and a half or so, looking through all the grades and having a look at the different examples and everything, and talking about the criteria and grades and things like that as well. So I'll be able to give a bit of sort of feedback, not to you specifically, but just there's some general feedback that Linda wanted to go back out to everyone about the previous assessment and how that can be helpful for your next assessment, which is your assessment 2. So today we're going to be just a little bit of that, and also selecting appropriate platforms. So and having a bit of a look at the social media calendar, which makes up a big part of your assessment 2 as well. So part of this tutorial is you working. Actually, we've just got one other person about to join, so I'm just going to pause. I can see that they're about to join. Who will it be? Who will it be? Hopefully it'll be one of your group members, Vino. Ivy, welcome Ivy as well. So that works out well. Ivy, Vino, you're in the same group for this assessment, so that works out well. So welcome Ivy. Can I just get a thumbs up that you can actually hear me and see me? That everything is working correctly? Just to make sure. Thank you. Well done, Ivy. And good work for being here. You just missed out on the round of applause. I will give you a round of applause. Well done. So this works out well because you two are in the same group for your assessment 2. So it's good that you're both here today. So I'm actually just going to mark you down as being here today, Ivy. And I was just explaining to Vino as well, is that you were probably told by Linda over the last couple of weeks, but Linda is away on holidays for this week and also next week, but it's the semester break. And then Linda will be back in week 10, so the beginning of week 10. So I'm here with you today for the tutorial and also for the workshop as well, which happens later this morning. So yes, there is an activity where you will be working together. So that's good that you're actually here. So I'll be making a breakout group later on where you can actually chat to each other. And I'll stay here in the main room as well. And we'll do that too. But we've got a couple of things just to kind of go over before we get there. And as I was saying, with less people in the class, it may actually end up being a quicker class today as well, because there's less people to kind of get around to. So just to let you know, your assessment 2 social media strategy, and what I usually do, I usually turn off the camera. There's a little bit of talking first, so I'm just going to turn off the camera, blink, just to help with your upload and download and everything, and mine too. Sometimes in this room, for some reason, it says that the internet connection is a little bit slow. I'm not sure why that happens. Maybe someone's watching a movie somewhere else up in the building. All right, and we have a third person who's just joining us as well. Ellie, welcome, Ellie. Good work for being here. Yes, excellent. Can I just get a thumbs up from you as well that you can hear me? You can't see me right now. I just turned my camera off. Wonderful, Ellie. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you for the thumbs up and the hello. So, as I was saying, yes, we're going to be looking at a little bit to do with assessment 2 today, and selecting appropriate platforms for your assessment 2, and having a bit of a go with the social media calendar as well, and also kind of sharing your recommendations as well. So looking at your past assessment and getting together and sharing some of those recommendations, seeing as your next assessment, your assessment 2, it actually builds upon the client brief and the brand, which is UDI, and continuing on with that. My daughter actually has an UDI at home. It's wonderful. I wish I had one too. All right. So this is the main parts of your assessment 2. So you can see there 1,500 words, but you're working as a group. So that's pretty good. That's not a bad word amount to actually get to. So you'll have these different elements to your assessment 2. You've got your introduction, your SMART objectives. So Linda's been working with you on the SMART objectives over the last week. And also the target audience. So that's the audience that you're actually targeting. So that's definitely where you can build upon your assessment, your previous assessment as well. And the platforms. So remember, these are all justifications as well. You need to justify each of these. And then there's a social media plan. So I'm going to show you an example of a social media plan today. And I know Linda had that in the week 7 e-content as well, from a couple of weeks ago. And also risk management and a conclusion too. So this week's e-content is all about sort of where social media can go wrong. So it's actually quite interesting. I was having a click through and having a look at the examples earlier on, and there's some very, very interesting ones there. As in, we all sort of hear horror stories of how social media fails and all that kind of thing. So there's some really good examples there in the e-content that show like really big, well-known brands about how they got it really wrong. And then what was the outcome from that as well, is in what actually happened. So that's kind of like a risk assessment. And this is something you'll need to actually have as a part of your assessment. As you can see there, it makes up one of the elements, is because you always need to have a kind of an idea or a plan in place, is in what could possibly go wrong. Because remembering with social media, it's public. It's a public forum. So what happens if someone says something really wrong? What happens if someone says something which is very sexist or racist or something like that? Is in how would you actually how would you assess that, to think of it beforehand? Part of risk management is knowing what the risks are before they happen. So if they do happen, you can be prepared, or you can actually put things in place beforehand to make sure that they don't happen as well. So it's not kind of waiting for it, hoping that nothing will happen. It's being prepared in case it does actually happen as well. All right, so just reminding you of your groups. I'm just going to go through these. These are the other tutorial groups. So this is your tutorial. So this is group number 1. So 3 of you are here today, so that's good. Yuki is in here today. I'm just checking who's here. Nope, Yuki isn't here today. So then these are the other group as well, but they aren't here. So 3 of your group members are here. Excellent. Ivy, Ellie, Vino, you're here. So you're still going to be able to get some work done today as well. Nothing too difficult, but just definitely something that you'll need to start thinking about for your assessment too. All right. I am just going to give you a little bit of time now. So this is individual. So no one will see these survey results. So this is a group progress update. So Linda is asking for these as you continue through the semester. So what I'll ask you to do, you can access this under your OneNote. So can I just give you a moment so you can access your OneNote for this class? If you can access it pretty quickly, just let me know when you have accessed it. So don't worry about, I'll tell you where to find this survey first. But I'd just like to know that you've actually got OneNote open first. So if you do have it open right now, just give me a thumbs up or say yes or open, and I'll just give you a little bit of time to actually access that. So I'll just turn my microphone off until you access your OneNote that you've been using during the semester. You're using the slide link. Okay. The link here. Oh yeah. Okay. So you've copied that from the slide. All right. Good. Oh, yep, it opens up the form. Okay, that's much easier. Thank you, Vino, for letting me know that. That's much easier. You can actually just copy, is in like highlight, is in drag your cursor along that forms.office.com, put it into another browser and copy and paste it in, and it will open up the actual progress update. That's much easier. Thank you, Vino, for telling me that. I didn't realize you could actually copy and paste text off the Collaborate slides. And someone's drawn on it. So good work. Someone must have had the drawing one. Hang on, I'll erase that. There we go. Link done. Okay. So yes, just make sure you haven't got your cursor on draw, and then just drag it over and copy it and put it in on the browser. So I'm just going to give you 10 minutes to fill out that. So that's a bit of a group progress check-in that Linda would like. So once again, this stays hidden from everybody else. So it's okay to be personal in this. That's totally fine. So Linda would just like to know how you're going as a group. All right, I'm going to give you 10 minutes to fill that out. Before I do, though, has everyone managed to access that? Vito, I know you have. How about Ivy and Ellie? Have you managed to access that survey form? You just let me know in the chat feed. All right, perhaps you're already filling it out. Okay, I'll turn my microphone off. I'll give you 10 minutes to fill that out, and then I'll pop back up. Okay, so that was about 10 minutes. So should have had enough time to do that. If you need more time, just continue filling out that form as we continue along. So good work for doing that. So as I said, that's a bit, Linda just likes having a check-in with you to see how your group work is going. And it can always be difficult, group work or collaboration, but it can be quite beneficial as well because we all have different skills. So that's why there's a lot of collaboration in the creative industries, is because we all have different skills. We all bring different sort of benefits to an actual group. Is in, like, I know myself is in, I'm not a very good graphic designer, but I am a good writer, public speaker. I have some video editing skills, things like that. So if I was going to a group, I'd be saying, yeah, I can do all these things, but I don't have any skills in these other ones. But other people might go, well, I'm a really good editor. I'm a really good graphic designer, things like that. So I go, great. Complementary is in our skills complement each other. Is in often our skills can take up the gaps. Different people's skills can take up the gaps of skills that we don't have. So that's why collaboration is such a great thing to have. And also, it's a good way to get more ideas. If you were the only person having to come up with ideas yourself, it's quite difficult. It's quite difficult to come up with creative, innovative, interesting ideas. But if you have more of you, say if you're in a group of 4, like you are, that means you have 4 times the ideas and 4 times the amount of innovative ideas that you could actually have as well. So a good way of doing this, I noticed on the form that Linda has got, have you met with your group this week and things like that, is in a good way to manage that is these days it's very difficult. Collaboration is made a little bit more difficult by technology. And in that, I mean that it's kind of like we're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that can become a bit overwhelming to the point where we just don't answer group messages and things like that, which is totally normal. You don't want to be hearing from your group 24 hours a day or sending a message at 10 o'clock at night and them expecting a reply or something like that. A way to manage that is actually structure when you will work as a group, when you will meet, when you will reply back to messages, things like that. So a good way of doing that is perhaps, especially in the lead up to assessment, is to go, all right, well, we're going to meet twice a week. So we might meet, let's make a time, when's away from people's classes and everything. We will meet online, whether that's in OneNote or whatever platform you want to, whether that's like Facebook Messenger or through WhatsApp or whatever it might be, and go, okay, so Tuesday at 6 p.m., we're going to meet for 30 minutes or an hour, whichever is best for you. And then we'll actually be sort of speaking to each other or sending messages, answering questions, asking questions, that kind of thing, and then it's done. And we will also meet, say, on Thursday at 5 p.m., because we don't have any classes then, and we'll also meet for an hour. And then you can do the exact same thing. And you can get a lot of work done and decisions made in that time. And then that also makes it feel like you're not constantly updating your group and sending messages and replies and all that kind of stuff all times of the day and night and all through the week, Monday to Sunday sort of thing. So it's good to structure when you actually meet as a group, because otherwise it can feel overwhelming. Because as I said, technology has allowed us to message each other instantly whenever we want, but that's not really conducive to structuring collaboration time or work time with your group members. So that's the same in university study as it is in professional life as well. As in, as a freelance voiceover myself, is in I need to set some kind of guidelines with my clients. Otherwise, they will get in contact with me at really odd hours all over the day and night, and expect kind of like an instant reply or expect work done sort of instantly, like on a Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Oh, could you please redo this line or something? It's like, whoa, it's Sunday, and that kind of looks badly upon you as a professional, because people just kind of expect it these days with technology. So you need to kind of set some ground rules where you go, this is when we meet. Other than that, we'll get back to each other during these times. So that's a good thing for you to make out, to sort of work out. And definitely with your team contract as well, that Linda has been asking you to fill out as well. That's something that you can actually put in there, is in how do we communicate with each other and when do we communicate with each other as well? All right. So when it comes to your next assessment, you have a definite target audience. So you will see from the client brief with UDI, they have a communication problem, or they're trying to communicate to specific people. So you need to know them quite intimately. As in, you need to know all these different sort of things, as in who are they? Things like demographics is kind of like what makes up the data about them. Their age, education, income, what kind of jobs do they have, even their values as well. And also, what do they think of the client? As in, what's their attitude, or how do they receive information from the client as well? So that's through social media. So just remember, this unit is all about social media. So everything needs to be based on social media. Also, their lifestyle. What do they do in their spare time? Even thinking about entertainment as well. What do they listen to? What do they watch? So you can find out all this information by researching online. There's lots of platforms out there, or websites, that offer this kind of data. And even their use with social media it's very easy to find out data on social media, like who are their main users, what is their demographic of their users, and everything as well. What are the percentages of that? And also with your target audience is in what platforms do they use? How frequently do they use social media and things like that as well? So you have to be quite specific when it comes to your target audience. And that was part of the feedback. And I'm about to go to the broad feedback in a moment. I'm just checking the slides. Okay. No, I'll give you the broad feedback now. So that's possibly one of the things that you could improve on. And I'm not singling anyone out here. This is broad feedback. I'm going to give the same broad feedback was given to the other tutes as well. So it's not specific to you, but please have a read of your feedback though, and see what Linda wrote for your feedback. But through my moderation and speaking to Linda as well, some of the general feedback that could relate to everybody really is now it's time to sort of dig deeper and get even more detailed. So more detailed of the psychographics of social media usage. So remembering that this unit is called social media management. So everything needs to link back to social media. So the use of social media. So I did notice, and as I said, I'm not singling anyone out. There were, in the last assessment, there were quite a few sort of analysis in there and recommendations and everything, talking not specifically about social media. It was sort of talking about other business elements of, say, the recommendations of how UDI could improve its branding, or the audience analysis wasn't deep enough, as in needs to be very, very specific, as in saying that the audience is women between the age of, or females between the age of 15 to 50, that's very broad. That's very, very broad. So you need to get more specific than that. Whittle it down a little bit so you actually have a smaller target audience as well. And like here on the slide, is in breaking it up as well, is in things like education levels, incomes. Do they have children? Do they not? Are there health issues for that age group as well? Also, lifestyle. So the more specific and detailed you can be, the better. It's almost like you cannot be too specific and detailed for this assessment. The more detail, the better you're going to go with analyzing your target audience as well. And so remember, some broad feedback too is definitely when it comes to recommendations and things, this isn't an overall broad business. How can they make their business better sort of type thing. It all has to do with social media. So through social media, how can they answer the client's brief? How can they innovate or make better choices using social media in context to the actual brief that you've been given for UDI? So I did notice that in the last assessment, there were quite a few people who gave recommendations, great, but it didn't have anything to do with social media. So just remember in the back of your mind, this unit is called social media management. It needs to have to do with social media. That's it. There's other business units that talk all about business strategies and, you know, all that kind of stuff, economics and all that kind of thing. But this is not one of those units. This is social media management. So as long as you continue talking about social media and the recommendations have to do with social media, then you're doing well. So just remember that as you go through to this next assessment. If it doesn't have anything to do with social media, throw it out, create recommendations about social media use and this brand and the company sort of type thing and their audience as well. So that's kind of like some broad feedback. As I said, the other shoots are getting the exact same feedback. That was just kind of like a bit of a, I guess, a reoccurring piece of feedback that was given through the entire assessment for the entire cohort of this unit. All right. So remember over the last week or so, Linda was getting you to do a SMART objective. So that has to be, you know, looking at what you're creating and what do you want to achieve with your social media strategy. So specific, what do you actually want to do? Is it measurable? How do you know when it has actually happened as well? Or how do you know how it's been successful too? As in, the good thing about social media is everything is measurable because it's digital data, which means everything is collected. And I know that's one of the bad things about social media as well. But when it comes to marketing and business, it's one of the most amazing, best things about social media. So how are you going to measure it that it has actually happened? And what is the challenge? What are you actually trying to achieve as well? And is it realistic? Is it a realistic outcome? And timing. Is there a time set for this as well? Do you actually have a specific time? All right. So when it comes to the social media platform as well, is you need to use at least 2 or 3 platforms when it comes to your 1-month campaign. So as we know, there's lots of social media platforms out there. So you need to use at least 2 or 3 of them as well to actually make up your plan and your actual campaign that goes over the calendar 1 month. So a mix of strategies as well. So each different social media platform has different uses. Some are very, very text heavy. And I'm just going to throw this out to the chat feed. What is a social media platform which is mainly just about text writing? What is one of the social media platforms which is mainly about text or writing? Can I throw that out to the Twitter? Yes, good work, Vino. It is. That's what Twitter was made for, really. It was originally, you could put in a 150 character tweet, and that was it. It was meant to be short, sweet, written, done, over. And that was it. That's why it was called Twitter, you know, like a really short tweet, and that was it. What about a social media platform which is more sort of visual, it's more about sort of looking at visual things and perhaps like short visual sort of content? What's one of them? There could be more than one, so don't worry. As in, see if you can put that in the chat feed, which is a bit more visual. So Twitter was very written. Yeah, good. Vino, once again, Instagram, TikTok, absolutely. And that's sort of, you know, visual in a sense where it's either like graphical, is in like, you know, sort of one image, or very short, is in short video sort of thing. Definitely TikTok has developed that. And Instagram kind of went running with that. Instagram was, you know, more sort of just about sharing pictures, photos, things like that, and then got into the short form video. And TikTok has definitely picked that up and run with it and has become very successful as well. How about a bit more of a longer form video sharing platform? Is in Instagram, TikTok. Instagram, you can have up to like 60 seconds. TikTok is around about the same. What if you wanted to actually have like a longer storytelling experience and share that through social media? So video, yep, Ivy, good. YouTube, absolutely. You can have very long sort of video content into YouTube, absolutely. And how about if you wanted to bring, you know, all of these things kind of together, and so a bit of storytelling, bit of visual, bit of written, also linking to other things as well. Is there one that we can kind of do all of that at once as well, that is kind of like a bit of a broad selection of all of those? Is there a platform out there? Bino, good. Facebook. Yes, absolutely. Well done to you all. Well done. That's exactly the replies that I was looking for in the chat feed. So good. You've got a good understanding of the different affordances. And affordances just means what's the functionality? What is it made to do? Sort of type thing. What can you do on it on these different social media platforms? And Facebook is good for that. It's kind of the use of Facebook is kind of slowly going down. But there's definitely some demographics, definitely some age groups that still use it quite a lot. And it's starting to be used for different sort of things as well, compared to things like Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and stuff too. But Facebook definitely is like still a big stayer when it comes to social media platforms. So we need to, based on research, like on the slide there, we need to justify why we're using these certain platforms. If you're doing something which is just based on text, justify that with Twitter. If it is more short form, visual, looking or watching, like video content, why is that justified with something like Instagram and TikTok? If it's longer, more documentary style sort of type thing, why YouTube? And also a little bit of a blend of all of them, why Facebook? So you need to be able to explain why. And that's a big part of this assessment is your justification, is in why have you made these choices? And because that actually shows a higher level of understanding and social media management skills that you have and you can use. Because it's one thing to come up with ideas, kind of saying, hey, we could do this, and we're going to put it on Facebook. In professional world, someone would say, okay, why? Why Facebook? And you would have to say, well, Facebook has this type of demographic. It gives this type of content. This is what it is traditionally used for. And you'd have to actually explain that with a bit of sort of research. Same thing for Instagram and TikTok. If you wanted to create a series of video shorts, as in why Instagram or TikTok, you would have to explain, well, because Instagram and TikTok, especially TikTok, is one of the fastest growing social media platforms, definitely in certain sort of regions, sort of like places like China and places like that, is really growing. It's still not as much as YouTube. YouTube still has like about 3 billion more users than TikTok. However, the platform, the affordances and the like the actual functionality of the platform is more suited to short form video content creation, and the target audience is more so, between the ages of sort of 12 and 25 sort of type thing. So if that suits your client brief, then you would have to justify that. So just remember, always ask yourself why. I've made this idea, I have this idea, I've got this strategy, and then why? Justify why you have made those choices. And as I said, that actually gives you a higher level, shows in your assessment that you have a higher level of understanding and skills when it comes to understanding and using the skills of social media management. Because in professional life, you will always be asked to justify your choices. Why have you made that choice? Why is that there? All right, so let's move on, shall we? Okay, so this is our first activity. This is your part of your assessment, and part of this is a social media calendar. So this is the example that we're going to use for this activity. So this isn't an example of what you need to do for UDI. This is actually an example for Uber driver. So not as an Uber customer, as is it called an Uber customer? Yeah, there's Uber driver and Uber passenger. So this is for Uber driver, so people that actually drive Ubers around. And what they're trying to do, they've come up with a calendar plan, so a social media strategy plan, to target an audience of women looking for a flexible supplemental income. So they're coming up with a strategy. This is a social media communication strategy of how to get more women to become Uber drivers. So it's quite interesting. And I'm just going to see, it's probably quite small on your screen. So I'm actually going to, how can I do this? All right. No, I'll leave it like that because it's still going to come up small on your screen. I was going to share my screen, which I've got it opened up bigger. All right, so what we're going to do here, we're actually going to give it a go on seeing if this actually sort of suits what they're trying to do. So we're kind of like giving it a go of kind of like analyzing or making up a justification, creating a justification of this example, and then in your own calendar, you're actually going to have to do this yourself as well, because you're going to have to come up with a month calendar, very, very similar to this, but obviously for your client brief, which is Udi. So I'm just going to give you this example first. So the one in yellow is the example that I'll talk through first, which is part of the calendar is on a Tuesday through Facebook is a live broadcast. So Facebook is good for that. That's one of the affordances I didn't mention before, is actually broadcasting live through Facebook. So you go live on Facebook, and then everything you do is instantly, being shown on Facebook, and people can watch it and comment and do likes and hearts and all that kind of stuff as well. So you know what it is. I'm sure you know what it is. So their idea for the communication objective is having a live broadcast. So focusing on someone's passion for the job and what it looks like working for Uber as an Uber driver. So they're going to be getting a female Uber driver, and what they want to do is inform and entertain. So a driver takeover, almost kind of like a driver takeover of Facebook there. So one of the female drivers of Facebook broadcasts for an hour and shares her experiences and thoughts, via that live broadcast as well. And they will probably have someone there talking to her and everything too. So it won't just be one person kind of like saying hi and then talk for nonstop for an hour. That would be difficult. They'd probably have someone else actually sort of helping and speaking about it too. So if we're looking at this, what you're going to be doing is, in our next activity, is identifying what strategies you think were behind this piece of content. So what were they hoping to achieve as well, especially with the affordance? So I'm just going to sort of talk through this one in yellow, just as an example, and then I'm going to put you into breakout groups, or I'm going to get you to choose one of these. And actually what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy the link to the actual document. And put it in the chat feed. There we go. Okay, so just click on that, and that will open up this example calendar document in another browser tab. So you can just click on that. There we go. It opens up. So that's what we're going to be using for this next activity. So just to talk through this example and highlighted in yellow is what strategies were behind this type of content. Well, you could say is if they're trying to target women looking for a flexible supplemental income, why not have someone who is also female, who also is an Uber driver and is already getting a supplemental income? So why not hear from someone who's actually already doing it? It's going straight to the source. It's not kind of saying, hey, here's a list of things why this could be good. You're actually hearing from someone actually doing it. It's kind of like someone using the service already and actually sort of giving their experience. And that's also a part of persuasion as well. Ethos persuasion, if I can do a quick link to our other unit, is talking about expertise and experience. So of course you're going to believe what they're saying because they're living and doing it as well. And also that has to do with the inform and entertain. So it's about, Uber drivers, and it's actually speaking with and hearing from an actual Uber driver as well. And also being that it's through Facebook too, that's a good platform that has affordances for that, because it's very easy to set up a Facebook Live event, broadcast live through Facebook as well. And definitely if we're thinking about what kind of people generally drive Ubers, they're usually a little bit older as well. As in generally, I don't know about you, but I haven't ever had an Uber driver who's been kind of like under 25 years old. They've usually been kind of like over 30, somewhere between 30 and 60 years old sort of type thing as well. So Facebook is quite well known for having a little bit of an older audience too. So you probably have to look up more research and data on Facebook to actually prove that. But I know just from past experience and looking at past data and everything, Facebook generally has a bit more of an older audience and possibly even a bit more of a female older audience as well. So that's who they're actually trying to get and to communicate with. But we also need to think about risks. So I'm going to throw this over to you before I give my thoughts on it. So you can just write this in the chat feed before we move on. Thinking of a live broadcast. So what elements are there of a live broadcast? It's live, for one. It's instantly going out. You have someone speaking who is instantly being heard and broadcast by a really big amount of audience. You have the connection as well, as in you need to connect through the internet, online, Wi-Fi, whatever it is, and actually broadcast this. You're in somebody's probably house as well. So, this is all done through online. So that person speaking, the Uber driver who would be speaking, would probably be in their own house, broadcasting live from their own house. Risks. What could go wrong? Now, this is a big part. As I was saying, in the e-content, it's all about risk management, risk assessment, risk management. What could possibly go wrong with that? Let your mind go wild. We need to try to think about everything. So I'm going to give you a minute or two to write in the chat feed and think what could possibly go wrong with this live broadcast by one of the Uber drivers through Facebook. All right, so write your ideas in the chat feed, and then I'm going to talk through it as well. So I want to get your ideas first before I talk about my ideas. All right, so I'll give you 1 or 2 minutes to actually write. You don't have to write a really big, long explanation. Maybe just kind of like, this could go wrong, this could go wrong, this could go wrong in the chat feed. All right, I'll turn my microphone off for about 2 minutes or so, and we'll get your ideas in the chat feed. All right, so good. That was about 3 minutes. So good one, Vino, for posting something up there. So yes, is in the driver work about Uber very energy consuming, and sometimes income is very minimal. So that's talking about is in what is possibly bad about being an Uber driver. But during the live broadcast, is that something that could go wrong? Do you think possibly something that could go wrong is that the person that they have got to talk about it might actually start talking about inappropriate things that the client doesn't want them to say? So I know that's what you're talking about there, Vino, is in, because it's live and it's somebody else, it's not actually the marketing professionals for Uber doing the talking, who would be very, very good at putting good spin on everything. You're dealing with a real person, a real Uber driver. So what happens if they're asked a question and they then go on to kind of like going, well, sometimes I find it difficult to earn an okay amount of money, and I have to work long hours to actually get that as well. Is that a good thing? Is that going to attract people to become Uber drivers? Probably not. So is in exactly what you've got there, Vino. The driver's starting to talk about something that perhaps Uber doesn't want others to kind of think about there too. And how about with a live broadcast? It's a live broadcast. What could possibly go wrong? What about the connection with internet? What about internet connection? What could possibly go wrong with that? Feel free to type that in the chat feed. What would happen with the internet connection? Because it's a live broadcast. Unstable? Yeah, absolutely. Good one, Vino. Internet connections can be unstable. What happens if the feed suddenly goes down as well? That's a risk assessment. What happens if the driver they're talking to suddenly disappears? All the audience will go, oh, what happened there? And be left with a not a very good experience, or a detrimental experience when it comes to Uber drivers or the company Uber. Also, being that it's live, you don't know what's going to happen. What happens if it's the person's talking in their own house? What happens if their family runs in? What happens? We've all seen those funny things on TikTok and YouTube and all that kind of stuff, as in sort of Zoom fails and stuff like that. What happens if their partner suddenly walks naked behind them? What if they're in their bedroom at a desk, and suddenly their partner walks naked behind them from the ensuite bathroom into some other part of their house? You never know. You don't know what's going to happen. Possibly there could be other people there. Or if it's more of like if it's an event, if it's not in their own house, then you actually have other people who are there as well. I've worked in broadcast radio. I've been a part of live events where the crowd, we've been at like football games and things like that, where suddenly the crowd starts getting really rowdy, or they come up toward where the microphones are and start yelling swear words and obscene things and all that kind of stuff. That all has to be taken into account. What do we do if that happens? That's what risk management is. It's thinking of risks and coming up with a strategy of what we do if those risks actually happen. So what we're going to do now is, so you all should have that link. What I would like you to do is choose one of those calendar entries. So using that document, and I'm going to put you into groups in a moment. So you should all have that document open up in a different browser after giving you that link. So you can see there that there's a whole lot of different ones there. And it starts off, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the exact times and everything. So there is actually a lot there. So just choose one of those calendar entries. Similar to what I just did then, chose the 1, 2, 3, fourth one down, Facebook, Tuesday, 5 o'clock, live broadcast. So you need to choose one as a group, one of them. It could be the very first one. It could be Facebook, Monday, 8 a.m., potential female drivers to get insights about the work, ask questions, and to network, promote event, meet and greet female Uber drivers, Facebook promoting an event in Brisbane, also streamed live at the time. That's a little bit similar to the one that I just did. So maybe choose a different one of that than that. So choose one of them, and you can see there the content type, like one's text and image, live broadcast, text and image, 1 minute video, Instagram story, YouTube, 3-minute video, 1 minute promo video. So you need to choose one of those. And as a group, identify why you think they came up with that piece of content. What were they trying to achieve? And also, why did they choose that platform as well for that too? And then just see if you can identify, at least 3 risks of what could go wrong. Like I just did talking about the live broadcast. So what are possibly 3 risks that could go wrong with that strategy? All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put you in breakout groups. So you're all in there together. As I said, choose one of the calendar entries and then talk about why you think they came up with it. As in what kind of strategy, what was the thinking behind coming up with that? Also, why did they choose the social media platform and what could go wrong? So I'm going to put you into groups, discuss that as a group, and then when I bring you back to the main room, before I bring you back to the main room, choose someone to explain what you were talking about, and we'll do that using a microphone. So choose someone to explain on behalf of the group. So I'm just going to give you 15 minutes to do this. So can I get a thumbs up from everyone that you know what you're about to do? Let's see if we can get a thumbs up from everyone. So we have Vino, Ivy, Ellie. Wonderful. Thank you, Vino. Thank you, Ivy. And Ellie, just checking in on you. All right. I'm going to continue along on with the... there we go. Thank you, Ellie. Okay. I'm just going to put you in a breakout group. So you will be in your own group, and I'm going to stay here in the main room. So remember, choose one of them. Why do you think they came up with that piece? Remember, this is all about justifying. This is what you're going to have to do for your own calendar entries for your assessment too. So you're going to have to say, this is what we came up with, and this is why we came up with it as well. So you're justifying. So you're trying to think, well, why do I think that they came up? Why do we think they came up with this piece of content? And why do they use that platform, social media platform? And what are some risks as well? Okay, so we'll go to breakout groups. All right, so I'm just going to put you all into group number 1, and I will stay here in the main room. There we go. Okay, so remember 15 minutes, and then I'll bring you back. So maybe write down some notes, what you're talking about, things like that. And one of you will need to explain what you were thinking as well. All right, going to breakout groups now, 15 minutes. Sorry, 15, not 50, 15 minutes.
Hello, Ellie and Ivy. How are you guys doing?
Hi, Jin.
Hello. Long time not hearing from you. Okay. So let's go to the table. Do you have access to the table?
Do you have?
Yeah. Do you have open the content calendar? Okay. I'll copy for you.
You still? You said? Yeah, I got it. This one.
Okay. That's nice.
Why I think we have a lot of read this term.
I don't know.
Do you think so, or just same as last semester?
Same as what?
Same as last semester.
Yeah, I know. I mean, what is this same from last semester? This content
Do you
analysis.
feel a lot of Do you feel a lot of work this? Because I think the last semester was chill, more chill than this semester.
Oh yeah,
There are lots of work to do.
yeah.
So when are you going to Brisbane?
I'm still thinking about it. I don't know. Actually, I want to go in 28th of this month. 28th.
30th is so close.
Yeah, but when I want to buy the ticket, the flight ticket, oh my god, the price is so high.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just don't know about my decision. Am I going to Brisbane or not in this semester?
I
Even
don't know too.
if I'm going to Brisbane in this month, I'm still studying in online class.
Yeah.
Yeah, that what QT admin said to me. They said that I cannot
Oh.
uh, directly change my class into on-campus class because it's been half semester, so I cannot doing that.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. Okay, so which activity we want to use for the analysis?
I don't know, but I saw Facebook and Instagram is more than the YouTube, so
Yeah.
maybe Facebook and or YouTube or Instagram is better choice than the YouTube.
I think Instagram is more relevant. How about Instagram?
Yeah. Yeah.
Instagram in uh, wait. Let me just share my screen. Right.
So in this assessment, we just only write 1,500
500 per,
words.
yes, that's correct.
It's not too much, but
Yeah, it's quite decent. I think this video, this activity is good. We can use this. I mean, we can analyze this. Yeah.
yep,
How about that? Can you see my mark?
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
but it's quite small. Just let me zoom it. How easy and feasible it is to drive for Uber. Yep. But it is 1 minute videos.
Yeah.
It's attractive in Instagram.
I don't know what is the video limit time in Instagram.
Yeah.
Do you know about Uber Eats or not? Uber Eats.
Yeah, I know Uber Eats, but it is not. It is
Yeah.
not in Hong Kong, but I heard it in the UK
Yeah.
and I use it.
Actually, if I'm going to Brisbane and maybe there is no class, there's after the semester done, maybe
Yeah.
I want to work in Uber Eats.
Oh, I think it is not.
Just to fill
I
my
think it is a quite a good part-time job.
yeah, because it's so flexible. You can work whenever you want.
Yeah, you can earn your money by yourself.
Yeah.
I think so. Not easy because
Okay, so we need to analyze pick one strategy, identify what strategies we think are behind.
the and also
Sorry.
I think
So what were they hoping to achieve from this type of activity? Right.
to attract more drivers.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. So the first question is like that. The answer is to answer more.
Just what on the chat.
Yeah, just use the text chat box.
I chat to the new driver.
Yep.
Am I right? Am I spell right? I think no.
Diverse. What this type of content? I think it's a video content, right?
Just you content.
Video content. Yep.
With
And
1 minute, it's quite a huge
yeah,
information in 1 minute.
it's a long video in Instagram, 1 minute.
Yeah. Because Instagram is always about 10 seconds for a story. Maybe
Yeah.
less than 10 seconds.
And then affordance. What is the affordance? Yeah, it is a
I don't know what is the
video.
meaning of
Affordance is.
what is the meaning?
I just don't know what is the meaning, but but I know
What?
about affordance. I think it's like a tool that you can use in social media, like yeah, you can post video, photos. So the affordance is maybe okay, just videos. Okay, identify three top risk. Yeah, what is the top risk? Ivy?
What? Oh, sorry, I missed it.
Yeah. What are the top risk? Identify the top three risk. I'll find one or two. You can find it. One or two more. Yeah.
Find more one or two. Where's the top three? I think a text and image is also good to promote because the people always just select the IG fast quickly.
So, do you mean that we need to change our activity to text and image?
No,
or-
no, no,
oh.
no, 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 no. I don't think so. I don't think so. Just this one is good.
Okay.
So we are going to find the top three.
What are the risks? Maybe. It's not a risky activity, so I don't know.
Not attractive because the people will not spend 1 minute to watch
Yeah.
the whole video.
That's nice. Type to the chat feed, okay?
Because the time it is
Yeah, it's a long
Time
video for
limit.
Instagram.
too long. Because the people like the fast food culture. People are not going to watch the whole video. So they maybe miss some information or miss the information. Too much information not informed. I think the time is important because I don't think the people will spend 1 minute to watch a
That is the answer for our first question. Okay. For the what they're hoping to achieve.
I think this video is like something advertisement, you know. People not interested to watch
Yeah.
advertisements to find.
Okay, so that was just over 15 minutes. And yes, I noticed that Ellie left. So it was just you, Vino, and Ivy. All right, so if we're looking at the social media calendar, I'll just pull it back up there. Who would like to explain the one that you chose and just give some thoughts on why it was chosen, the platform, and also what are some risks as well? Would Vino like to, or would Ivy like to explain this?
Let me explain it first, Jay.
Wonderful. Hello, Vino. Good to hear your voice.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, go for it.
Okay, so the activity we choose is the Instagram video post, 1 minute video post, but how easy
Okay,
and
so
flexible it
oh
is
yes,
to drive for Uber. Yeah.
yep. Okay, got that one.
And
So what do you
then
think? Why did they choose that?
yeah, they choose that for sorry, for making image of Uber is an easy and flexible job, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, to attract many new drivers.
Wonderful. Good. And why do you think they chose Instagram for that?
Uh, maybe because they can post because 1 minute video is good in Instagram. If you are posting 1 minute video in YouTube, it will be too short. But
Mm-hmm.
if it's in Instagram, it's good. Yeah, it's fit
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
Instagram.
That's kind of is in you don't really see 1 minute things in YouTube, do you? You generally want longer,
Yeah.
a little bit longer, maybe like 3 minutes to 4 minutes in YouTube, sort of
Yep.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the limit, isn't it? You can only have a 1 minute video on Instagram. That's the longest you can actually have a video on there for on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are some of the risks, do you think, that what are some things that could go wrong with that?
I think because of the 1 minute video, and it seems like a 1 minute video in Instagram is a bit too long. So people are going to not watching the whole things and
Yeah.
get some misinformation of that.
Yeah, good. So yeah, even though it is a short form video, it still could be a little bit too long
Yeah.
for the audience. They could still go, no, as in 30 seconds, mate, might have been better, sort of
Yep.
type thing. Yeah. And how about is in the e-content there were some examples there of risks of where things go wrong is in like putting marketing spin or social media marketing sort of campaigns that come across as quite sexist and things like that. What do you think about their notes there? If you look at the activity, is an inform and educate, driver benefits, flexible hours, and the notes focusing on flexibility for women with children. So they're focusing kind of like saying, hey, if you're a mother and you have a child, this is the benefits, this is how this could help you so much, sort of thing. What do you think the risks could possibly be if they're specifically focusing on women with children and how being an Uber driver can help that?
Oh,
Is there
yeah.
anything that you can sort of see there?
Interesting. Right.
Because stereotypically, if we're kind of being very stereotyped about it, who looks after children
Uh,
in a family?
Woman.
Yeah. So I'm not saying this is true or not, but is in if we're kind of going, okay, let's kind of be stereotypical about this. Is in let's say, okay, generally in a household, mothers look after the children, the fathers go and work and don't really have much to do with the children, sort of thing. So we're going to focus on, mothers being the ones that have to look after children, and then they have to work that around having a flexible sort of job as well. That could possibly step on some people's, I don't know, is in portrayal of women in the family setting sort of thing, kind of saying, oh, well, you're playing on the stereotype that only women are carers. And so that there's a bit of a sexist spin on that sort of type thing. As in women are more than just carers in families and households and everything. And also, husbands and males of the family also do have to look after children as well. And, I could just foresee that it might bring up some kind of sexist connotation that women's only role in the family is to care and, that kind of thing, which, is not true. Everyone in families need to be part of the caring and financials and, all that kind of stuff. So even I'm struggling talking about it right now. It's in without feeling like I'm sort of putting some kind of sexist sort of spin on it, sort of type thing. So that could be a possible risk as well.
Yeah, maybe from the opposite gender, maybe they can feel like there is no gender equality in this advertisement.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
it's
That's a really
only
good way
talk
of putting
about
it.
it's only talk about women and not talk about men, let's say.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a good way of putting it. Is in it kind of starts going into a bit of the realm of gender equality in families and households and things like that. So it's not really what you want to start getting into, sort of thing, because that can very easily be a risk and go against what the original message was meant to be, sort of type thing. And because that brings up a lot of different debates and arguments and all that kind of stuff as well. And in the e-content, it actually had a couple of examples of that, about where unknowingly they were making a really big comment on gender equality or inequality and gender roles and all that kind of thing as well. So as soon as you start doing that in social media, it's all over. As in, people will destroy you. People will really destroy you for it. So good. Well done to you both. That was good. That was a good analysis. All right. So what we're going to do now is we've just got something really quick to finish off with. I'm just going to give you, what's the time? I'm just going to give you 10 minutes to do this. So once again, you're going to go back into your groups and just share, seeing as you're working on this next assessment together. So as a group, so it's just Ellie is gone, so just you, Vino, and you, Ivy. I would like you to pull up your assessment 1.2 where you have your recommendations and just talk through the recommendations that you had as a part of your 1.2. And because part of your assessment 2 as well, you're going to be building upon those and justifying why you've made certain choices as well. So your social media calendar can be based kind of like on what the recommendations were that you said to fill the brief with Woody for the client, sort of thing. So just pull up your file and talk about the recommendations you put down, and just sort of highlight perhaps which ones do you feel are the strongest or you're most excited about? Which ones might be best suited to the target audience you've chosen as well? Seeing as that's what I was saying right at the beginning, the good thing about teamwork and collaboration is you have right now you have double the ideas. So if you pull up your one file, 1.2, you've got your recommendation ideas, but together you've actually got double that. So you've got more content, double the content that you actually just had a moment ago. So talk through them. Which ones do you think might be best suited? So which ones are you most excited about or might be best suited? So just kind of highlight that on your document, and that's going to help you sort of move through with your assessment 2 as well. All right, so This is the last thing we're going to do. Last thing we're going to do. So just 10 minutes, I'll give you to chat with each other and talk through the recommendations. And then you can also add this to your collaboration space on OneNote as well, if you wanted to, but possibly just for now, just highlight them in your document and save it somewhere. And then just a bit of a reminder, and that's it. The tutorial is done. All right, so I'm just going to put you back into your breakout group again. Okay. And once again, as I said, just 10 minutes. So quickly pull up your document, have a chat about it, highlight, and then I'll bring you back after 10 minutes. All right, going there now.
Okay. Let me just copy my recommendation to you, Ivy. To the chat, I mean.
Okay, I also put in mine.
What do you think? You are more comfortable with Linda or with Jake?
With Jake,
Oh, yeah, I see.
because it's not too much to need to answer the question.
Yeah. Also, Jake is like more casual, right? More,
Yeah,
more relaxed.
Just more relaxed. It's just more easy to have a
Yep. Uh, do you know about the assessment tree in Jake's class in the I think KCD 103? Do you know about it?
Yesterday I heard something. Yesterday. This is yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday I heard something about this. Did you just find the topic
Yep, that's true.
and then to
Yeah, it's a difficult one though, I think.
I think I don't know because Jake not I have not already to send the result, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure he is harsh or just casual remark. I don't know.
But yeah, I mean the assessment tree in the Jake's class, I think one of the hardest assessment of all time. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not anything. Just talk and do the PowerPoint. I prefer presentation more than the essay. I hate
Yep,
writing
I
essays.
agree.
I don't know how to write, and I'm not sure how can I do the research in the right
SI and
direction.
research is more difficult and more complicated. Yeah, I agree.
So I think I think the assessment in the J class is more flexible
Yeah,
than
but
the other.
what I mean about is the last assessment is the difficult one in the Jake's class. I mean, that is the most difficult
The
task in the
assessment
Jake's
fee,
class.
right. But also there are a lot of others assessment in other classes. I think is hard. Is difficult
Yeah,
than
it's more
this
difficult.
one.
Yeah.
For example, the assessment in micro class.
Yeah, micro class is always hard, you know.
Yeah, I quite scared. He haven't give the mark. He
Yeah, me
haven't give the
too.
result. Oh my god.
Michael haven't give our marks. My God.
Yeah, so I was quite scared about it. I quite afraid about it. I quite worried about it. Then
Okay, so where is your recommendation, Ivy?
he haven't put any comment on the test. I can't find it. She do not put the comment here.
Oh, you're not uh you're just copying your recommendation, not not copying the what is it? The feedback.
You say copying the recommendation, but I can't. They're nothing. They're nothing. I don't know why. What's happening? And it just write low test comment was left for this paper. I don't know what is this mean.
I mean, do you know that in the last section of the essay, there is some recommendation, right? You have to write 5 recommendation about
I
Udi's
don't.
social media presence.
I don't know. I just sent it to you. I got nothing here.
The last assessment, social media analysis. You need to write
No. Is the
introduction.
recommendation is the 1.2 assessment work?
Yeah, the 1.2 assessment.
But I got nothing here. I just sent it to you.
You send it to me. Where?
No, I just sent the picture to you. That is nothing here.
Oh, right.
You see it? Oh my god, I don't know what's happening.
Okay, maybe you can save my recommendation, and you can send me your recommendation later, right?
Okay, so I just find it. Oh, so just send my recommendation.
Okay.
Then, but I'm like, but my computer is like, I don't know.
Apple gave you new laptop, right?
Yeah, because I just spent about a half, maybe less than half.
Oh,
price to pay for training. Because the Apple Care,
yep.
I still need to pay something.
Yeah, Jake said that we need to back to the manual, okay?
Accident last week.
All right, everyone. Well done for being in the breakout group. Good work. I can see, Ivy, you still just got your microphone turned on. So good work for chatting to each other. Well done. So I could tell that I wasn't a part of that group, but when you came back, I just heard that, Ivy has left, is about to reconnect. That you must have had your microphones on, because I just saw your microphones turned on as you came back into this room. So good work. Well done for doing that. All right. So that will have helped you if you're solidifying or at least looking at your recommendations and thinking about which ones you might want to go forward with as well, because that will help you actually come up with the content for your calendar. So for your strategies in your calendar, seeing as you're going to have to come up with this together. All right, so that brings us to the end of today. So just some things to think about over the next couple of weeks is to think about, make sure you go through the e-content for this week as well, because remembering this week is all about risk management and things. Part of your assessment too is risk management. So thinking about what could possibly go wrong and also how you would manage that as well. And start having a bit of a think about drafting your content calendar and justification. So remember, always think in the back of your mind, why? Why are we doing this? Why are we saying that this would be a good idea? Because you will have to justify why you made that choice. And as I mentioned earlier, that actually shows, being able to justify your choices shows a higher level of understanding and application of these social media management skills as well. All right, so that brings us to the end of today. Linda will be back in week 10. And also Linda just wanted to let you know she can provide feedback on one section. So one section only of your group's draft if received before Wednesday, 5th of October. So just have a think about that. When is that? Wednesday, 5th of October. So next week is break week. So halfway through week 10. So you may need to meet with your group members sometime over the next kind of like 2 weeks. Seeing as that's 2 weeks away. So as I said before, see if you can schedule a specific time, as in possibly say to each other, okay, let's meet on, Monday night at 5 o'clock and Thursday night at 6 o'clock or something for an hour, and just be online together for an hour. And then you can get lots of things. You can chat to each other, decisions made, see how people are going, working on sort of different parts and things as well. All right. So I'm just going to turn my camera back on. Blink. Hello again. So that's it for me today in the tutorial. Thank you for being here with me. Round of applause to you all. It was good seeing you again here in the class. And I'm also going to be Vino, you have a question? Yes?
Yeah, so this is a group task. Do we need to post our work the same?
Yeah, so it will be. Yeah, so you'll all be submitting the same assessment document.
As the others members did.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
That's right. So yeah, if you have a look under assessment 2, there's a template there. And it actually sort of shows what you can have in the different parts of the actual social media strategy sort of thing. So you'll all have to work on this together and submit it together.
All right. Thank you, Jack.
That's all right. All right. So yes, once again, if you are coming along to the workshop, I'll be seeing you in the workshop as well, which is pretty soon. All right. Thank you for being here, everybody. Have a good. Well, I'll see you in the workshop, but otherwise, have a good semester break next week, and I'll be seeing you as a part of our other unit when you return as well. But otherwise, yeah, I will be in the workshop very soon. All right, everyone. Well done for being here. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.